Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jay Kirby here with the Kirbside Network. Joining me today, we're coming hot off the heels. I mean, it's only been about 24 hours since I've been home. Hot off the heels of Ranger Stop and Pop down in Atlanta. We've got another Ranger on deck, a gentleman that's gotten to sit down with us before, this time for a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth discussion. Rhett Fisher, aka the Lightspeed Rescue Titanium Ranger. Rhett, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I love the intro. Thanks for having me. Good to see you again.
Absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Like like I said, thank you for joining me today. I know we both have had busy schedules as of late, so anytime that I can get to sit down with you is greatly appreciated. But before we get started, as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube and Twitch. We just hit Twitch affiliate. So if you guys want more content from us and want to give back to the show, follow us on Twitch. We couldn't have done it without all your love and support. More interviews coming from Ranger Stop and Pop. Everything that we've done is up on Instagram and will be coming to TikTok and YouTube in the near future. Like I said, it's only been about 24 hours, so I'm working on getting everything much cleaner, more edited. But everything from the past weekend is up on Instagram. Go check out some of our amazing interviews. I was saying before this, we did 21 interviews with 24 guests, or 24 interviews, 25 guests, and 21 different Rangers of that ilk. So 24 different interviews. Please go check those out. We love the support, but follow the Facebook, follow the Instagram, follow the YouTube, hit the little bell for notifications. And on a day like today, we are we're coming off this big con and we bought a lot of things. We got a lot of signatures, but would be really nice new merch. So shout out to our partners, Peach City Inc., a completely 100% custom t-shirt partner of ours. They have made designs for Austin St. John, Dan Southworth. They are working with Bruce Elliott from One Piece, who is Whitebeard. So they are connecting with all kinds of people, more Rangers, even in the wings that they're speaking with right now. But go check out their website. That's Peach City Inc. They're on our link tree. They have some amazing designs, some extremely comfortable t-shirts. So go check them out. And of course, none of this show could be brought to you without our friends, Collected Comics and Games here in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. They have everything you see in this room, you can get it collected. You can get Funkos, you can get books, you can get minis. They have all your gaming and collecting needs. Go check them out. They're the most wonderful people. And because we're starting back up with Lord of the Rings this Friday, go check out our dice sponsors, STWay Gaming. Jason has worked very hard to bring you guys some of the best dice in the world, some of the most interesting custom colors, and really fascinating accessories. I myself have a really cool little dragon necklace that he sent me. So go check out STWay Gaming for all your gaming needs when it comes to dice and accessories. And with that, we come to the man of the hour. Our guest today, Rhett Fisher, like I said, aka the Lightspeed Rescue Titanium Ranger. Rhett, thank you again for sitting with us.
And I got the tank top memo. So
Yeah, show the guns off.
yeah, baby.
Um, so Rhett, I always love to start interview, at least longer form interviews, with how did you get your start in the business? I know we talked a little bit about it at More Phenomenal that you had auditioned for multiple Ranger seasons beforehand, but how did you even get your foot in the door when it came to acting and this crazy world known as Power Rangers?
Well, first of all, before I do that, I just wanted to tell the people that so I did an interview with Jay here in at More Phenomenal, and he was fantastic. And we connected there. We got to hang out. It was a blast there, and we kind of made friends, and that's why we're doing this together now. But he was a great interviewer, I think, and we really connected there. So I just want to also say thank you to you for having me. You're fantastic. And okay, just wanted to throw that out there so everybody knows how this happened. But how did I get my start? I started really young. I moved out to LA when I was around 8. I was born in Indiana, but I moved all around East Coast, Nashville, Chicago, North Carolina, and then my family ended up, setting up shop here in LA. And it was kind of one of those things where my sister was in like these dance classes. And it was kind of like my mom would drag me to these dance classes, and I would be sitting there like watching my sister. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just throw him in a dance class just because like we're here anyway. So I kind of got forced to do that as a young kid, but I enjoyed it. And one day they had some scout people coming in, and they were doing kind of like, oh, we're hiring for some dancers for this job or whatever. And since I was like one of the only boys at the studio, they hired me to do this thing called Parachute Express, which is on YouTube, which is actually hilarious. You should see it. It's a children's band. This might be way too much information, but since we have more time, I'm telling the story.
No,
It's
please.
like
The
a
floor is
children's
yours.
it's like
So
a
go for
children's
it.
band. So if you guys remember, the only thing I could compare it to, do you remember the Goofy movie back in the day?
Oh, yeah,
The Goofy movie
absolutely.
came out. So everyone had that like VHS Goofy movie. There was this there was this preview before the Goofy movie that was a music video, and that was the job that I did. And so if you have that Goofy movie still, you will definitely see me dancing as a child on this show. So anyway, I've had a blast doing that. And my mom said, well, let's just go get some. I know a manager from that. Like we met some people on set or whatever. So it's like, okay. So did some headshots. And as a young kid, I was going out for auditions. My mom was driving me out to Hollywood, and I was doing auditions, and I was doing booking things here and there, little commercials. I did like a National Ross commercial, did a couple parts. I auditioned for everything. So the coolest part was, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing at all. I probably had no business, but I was just having fun. Like I auditioned for Home Improvement, and I got down to the very end. So I was almost on Home Improvement. And there was a couple other big shows back then that I auditioned for that was like big, because I had this really amazing manager, Michael Hara at the time. He was like this, one of these really powerful managers, and I didn't know what I was doing, but it was fun. And I kind of, got my feet wet with that, and then quit doing all of that once I got to high school because I was doing sports and I was in school, and it's just kind of like not really time. And then after high school, that same manager contacted me. Was like, if you ever want to get back into acting, because he was one of these guys that always believed in me. And I was like, sure, like why not go out for a few auditions? So he ended up getting me with an agent at the time. I think it was called Privilege Models. It was like my first acting agent after high school. And immediately I started going out for Power Rangers auditions. That was like one of the first things I got with this agent. And these were seasons before Lightspeed. So I was going into these auditions every few months for previous seasons, and I just would never get the part, but they just kept calling me back, kept calling me back. And eventually Lightspeed came along, and I went and auditioned for the role of Carter for that. Didn't get it. So I kind of got used to just the disappointment, After a while, it's just like, okay, whatever. And they actually ended up calling me a few months after that audition, after they had started filming Lightspeed, and they were like, we just want to offer you this part. And I was like, okay, Sixth Ranger. And I had watched enough Power Rangers to kind of, I was familiar with what a Sixth Ranger was. I knew I'd kind of be coming in later. I was like, oh, that could be cool. Um, and I was really excited, and that's just kind of how I got the start. So Power Rangers was definitely one of my first big, my biggest thing up to that moment for sure. I had done a couple like B movies before that, little parts like right out of high school with just my manager with no agent. So yeah, when I got Power Rangers, I was like, yes, finally, because I'd just been auditioning for so long. It's like finally.
No, that's awesome. I almost lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Um, so what was it like? Because you said you came in a little later. What was it like kind of interacting with your co-stars who'd already kind of been on set already? They had kind of been, you know, in the throw of it. Like you said, you were fairly familiar with the Rangers series, so you kind of knew that you're coming in as the sixth guy later. But what was it like getting to interact with them at first? Like, um, did you guys immediately click? Was there like a learning curve of okay, these people work better like this? What was it like for you?
I can remember really clearly my first time showing up to set, and it was during lunch, and everyone was sitting down eating out by the truck. It was like a food truck. And since I had been watching the show, I obviously knew who the cast members were, and they were all sitting at a table. And I went and I got my food, my tray, and it felt exactly like I don't know if you've ever had to like transfer schools or anything like that growing up. So you got your tray and you don't know anyone, and they're all just having fun talking, and it's like, do I go sit by myself and eat? Like it was like the cafeteria. I was having like social anxiety. Just oh my God. And so I was like, you know what? I'm one of the range. I'm just gonna go introduce myself. And they were just kind of like, oh, is that the I could hear him whispering, is that the new guy? Is that the new guy? Like I remember this like it was yesterday. And I just kind of like sat down with my tray and I was like, hey guys. And it was like really uncomfortable. And I was really nervous. I was like sweating. And but they, after like a day, because they had already just been in the flow, they were making jokes, like I didn't know what was going on. And after like one day, um, I warmed up, they warmed up, and I kind of became part of the crew. But there definitely was like, an hour there where I was like, oh man, this is kind of so uncomfortable. And they were telling their stories, and I couldn't even, I didn't know what was going on. So they were trying to fill me in on everything. And yeah, so it was a little nerve-wracking that first day.
Yeah, no, I trust me. That's kind of how it felt coming off Ranger Stop because
Mm,
we got there Thursday night. Well, Thursday afternoon ish, and we got set up for the con. The day one is Friday. The doors open to the public,
yeah.
but all the Rangers were at the hotel on Thursday night. And
Mm.
so we're just bumping into people we've never met, but we've seen on TV 100 times before. And we're just like, oh, that's so and that's so and so. And okay, cool. Just act cool. Don't nerd out. Don't bother them. Just be polite. And then by the end of the convention, uh, I'm walking up to because I got the to bump into Wild Force, uh, Black and Wolf Ranger a couple of times. And I'm just like, oh hey Phil, hey Jack, just like they're just friends of mine I've known for my entire life. So just
Right.
that initial day, I definitely know that energy that you had on that set. Just like, okay, that cool. Eventually it'll work, right?
Yeah, you know what though? I will say this. That's cool. Just we feel the same way. When I walk, I don't know if everyone does, but when I walk into a con and you first walk in and you're going through, the crowd and you're getting to your booth and it's like, I'm nervous because, people are looking at me and I'm like, I know they recognize me because I'm at a Power Ranger con. And, you don't want to disappoint anyone. And it's just like a nervous social anxiety thing when people are looking at you and you know who they are and you're looking at them and you know who we are and it's like and then you break the ice and then it's cool. So never feel nervous about that because we feel the exact same way if that helps you
It does
or
actually.
anyone out there.
It does tremendously. So specifically for you, um, on the topic of chemistry with your co-stars and whatnot, the Pink Ranger and Commander Mitchell playing were your sister and father on the show. What was
Mhm.
your interactions with their actors on set like? Uh did you guys kind of click like the family that we see on TV, or was it like I said, a little bit longer process after you start getting into the flow of being on set?
Absolutely. So Allison, the Pink Ranger, uh, I was the youngest one, and her and I were the youngest two Rangers. We were the same age. So we connected because just our age, really. There was a pretty wide age gap between some of the Rangers and Allison and I. And my first scene I did was that wasn't by myself. I did a lot of stuff by myself first, like going through the Aqua base in my wetsuit and like, stealing. All that was filmed first. But my first real scene with a human was with Ron, the guy who played Ron Roget, Captain Mitchell, and Allison. When I come in to the Aqua base and we have kind of a scene, and that was my first interaction. And Ron and I shot a lot of stuff at the beginning too. So, we connected, and he was also a really good mentor in real life to us because he had been an actor and he'd been in the business for a while, and he was pretty successful at that time comparatively to the rest of us. So he was almost like an acting coach with us. He was really generous with his time, and we felt comfortable asking him for advice. And even when I see him now today, he's a working actor. He's fantastic, and you should always look up to those kind of people and have them help you out if they're willing to do it. So he was really generous with his time. So Allison and Ron and I definitely clicked together. We did feel like a family on set.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, because you brought up the working actor. I caught him on a show that I'm a huge fan of, and I was like, that's him. That's Captain Mitchell.
Uh,
And when I rewatched, because it was he played a pilot on an episode of Leverage, which
oh,
I
nice.
I I love Leverage. But I started getting my girlfriend to watch it with me, and she had just rewatched Lightspeed with me, getting ready for More Phenomenal. And so I was like, "Hey, do you recognize the pilot?" And I was just waiting for her to be like, where do I know him from somewhere. I was like, it's Captain Mitchell from Lightspeed. She's like, oh my gosh, it is him. And I was like, haha.
Yeah,
And
man,
funny enough,
he's
speaks
everywhere.
speaking of recognizing people, we 100% did the exact same thing back in February. Because we recognized a certain actor in a certain Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were like, no, wait, that's not way. And
Uh,
then it was.
that's crazy that you noticed that, by the way.
Because we were getting ready for the con, and just like we saw him, as like, is that, oh my, and then we started going on Instagram and everything. It's like it was you. So
Oh, that's fun.
um I mean,
Yeah, so
what
it's
was
like
it,
the
what was it
Where's
like to be
Waldo?
on such a commercial for such a big moment in TV? A Super Bowl commercial is kind of the pinnacle of advertising.
Yeah,
What
it
was
was
that like
cool.
for you?
I mean, the best part about that whole experience was getting to see Ben Affleck direct because he directed the commercial.
Mhm.
So being on set with him for a couple days was just like insane. I was like a fan, I was just like just watching everything, and he's just right. He's chilling. He's like one of the dudes just hanging out with us. And you know, tall guy, by the way, big hands, massive human. But he was great. It was just really cool to see how that all works. And I've been out of the acting game for so long. I've been doing music, so I just, I literally just got an agent like in January, December, and this was the first audition I went on that she sent me on. So I was like, no way, this is crazy. And yeah, so I was stoked. I was stoked. It was really cool. And it was cool to tell my family and friends, be like, hey, because I know you're watching the Super Bowl. If you can find me, where's Waldo? There I am. I'm in there somewhere. Good luck.
No, that's really cool. And what a way to come back
It was fun.
by getting to work with some heavyweight stars in the acting world.
Yeah, and I'm a huge football fan, so just being able to hang out with Bill Belichick all day was insane too.
Nice. Okay, so now I have to ask, what's your team there, Rhett?
Cowboys.
My man, my man.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
baby.
whew.
Although
I was really worried.
I should say unfortunately right now. But
Listen, these past two seasons have been rough for us,
this
but
is
you
what
know,
we do.
I
So
I was really worried this interview was about to go off the rails. Be like, crap, he's a Patriots fan. Oh, all
uh,
righty, here we go.
no, no, been a Dallas fan forever. Actually, really cool. I live in LA, and they do the training camp up in Oxnard here. And every year we go and watch them at the training camp. So we've been going for years and years and years. Like even back when it was, when Zeke first got signed, and it was like Dez and Beasley, and right when Dak became the starter. Like that's when we started going to check out the training camp. And I gotta say, I don't want to tell too many people about it because I don't want it to get crowded. But when you go, because I guess what's so great, like you would think it would just be so crowded and you would never be able to get in. There is literally like nobody there. Like we're on the field. Like it's crazy and it's free. And you go and you can just stand on the field and you can watch them all, run through their reps, working out, and like afterwards they'll sign stuff sometimes if you're at the fence. Um, but if you live in LA, you got to check it out. It's amazing. But go during the weekday because the weekends it's crazy.
That's really cool, and I know
That's
that
my
my brother,
sports section there for you.
I know my brother Tim's going to be insanely jealous when he gets to watch this interview. So,
Oh
I'll
man, so cool. Yeah, I've got photos of me and Dak. Signed some balls for me. I brought my kid and like high fived him. It's like this is insane. Well, the first time I went, I was like, how is this? What? What is going on right now? We can just go onto the field? What is this? This is nuts. So as a football fan, it's just unbelievable.
That's awesome. Insanely jealous, by the way.
Oh man, I feel it.
um, so you brought up because of the audition that you've been mostly doing music as of late.
Yeah,
Um,
for a
how
long
did
time
you?
though.
I was gonna say, how did you get your start into music? Where was that little spark that's like, oh, I really want to do this. I really want to get into this.
Well, I mean, it started when I was in high school for sure, because I was like in choir, like in the
Mm.
show choir, and I loved it. I just loved music. I didn't know anything about it. I never had a class or, music lessons growing up or anything like that, but it just somehow connected with it. And I loved writing music and learning to play, instruments and yeah, definitely got my spark in high school for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, Gotta ask out of curiosity, got a favorite band that's a go-to playlist for you whenever you need some inspiration or maybe you're just in a good mood?
Man, I grew up listening to a lot of West Coast like rock bands, like Incubus, bands like that. But, I'm more of a pop guy now. And I'm like a top 40s mainstream. Although the stuff lately, not really loving. But if they say like, I don't know, maybe I'm old now. Uh, but I'm like, what are the kids listening to these days? Like, oh, I got to stop myself because that's like what my parents used to do. And as a songwriter, it's tricky because you have to stay current. And so you have to see what it is about these songs that people are being, drawn to. Um, but for me, like 90s, 2000s music, that was kind of like my era. So anything from that era, I love listening to. And then anything beyond that era, besides, a few things, it's just kind of like work for me where I'm like
Mm.
researching because you got to stay on top of it,
Oh
It's like
yeah,
a business.
gotta keep a finger on the pulse.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
I know I think we talked about this a little bit, but I'm a massive wrestling fan and all
Mm,
my friends know that I'm a wrestling fan. So even if I'm not following this company over here, they're like, "Hey, what's going on with wrestling?" I was like, "All right, so
mm,
that's going on over there. I haven't really watched it, but I
mm,
know what's going on and this is
right.
going on over here. I've been mostly watching here, but you know,
Mm.
got eyes and ears kind of everywhere. So you're kind of the same way with music.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. And I'm doing a lot of stuff overseas too. I have a publisher in Japan. So I'm doing all kinds of K-pop and J-pop music as well, which I think when I say like the 90s, it's kind of yeah, everything there is still so melodic, and there's a lot of boy bands there. So I think for me, that's just a natural progression for my songwriting, and also like the rock music stuff. They do a lot of that there. So I've been really enjoying working with these artists from overseas. It's been really fun.
So what's that been like? Because now I'm curious. Like, what's that been like getting to travel the world, get to see all these crazy new places? Not just because of the show that you're on, but now you're doing music and you're actively in that field. What's it been like to get to go see the world with some of these bands that you've been working with?
Well, I think after we talked in Texas, I was
Mhm.
going to Japan, right? Like a week after that or something. Uh,
Yes, yes.
yeah, so I ended up going to Tokyo, and then I went to Seoul, Korea after that, to work with a bunch of artists and bands and things like that. And I will say, um, I love traveling, first of all. And going on these trips, especially solo, like by yourself, is a totally different thing. And I think it's amazing. I mean, it's like life-changing, really, because the way that I was able to go on these trips, as opposed to like I'm on vacation, even though I'm working, it's like I feel like I'm part of the culture because I'm working with people that are there, the local people that live in Tokyo, the people that live in Seoul. And they're taking me out every night. I'm with a different group of people every day doing sessions, writing, and I'm kind of getting to see the world a little bit and through their eyes, So it's not so much like vacation guy from America. It's I feel like a part of the culture, and they really took care of me. And every time I talk to them, like I feel like I've made friends for life now too, um, with everyone I've worked with. Because a lot of the times I'm doing remote work, I'm in LA and they're in Japan. It's like either a Zoom or sometimes the translation is even difficult. So, we speak through music. They'll send a track and I'll send a melody or a top line, and we kind of work like that. So being able to go there and be face to face with the people that I've been working with for a long time is like a really cool experience.
No, that's really cool. I've 100%, I don't know if I've talked about it on the show before, but dream trip for me is to go to Tokyo.
Oh
I
man,
that
highly
is
recommend.
yeah,
Oh, if you ever go, let me know
I
because I
will.
got it all. Oh yeah, I got you. But like it's unbelievable. The first 2 days I was there, I was like, I don't know about this place. It was like overwhelming in the sense of like it's so different. It than you can ever. It's so culturally different. And at first it's kind of like unnerving for Americans, I think, because everything is different. And even just the communication and the culture, the way that we are, and it's just a very different vibe. But once you kind of just adapt to that, you're like, this is the most amazing city in the world. Amazing, like unbelievable. And the people are just incredible, and the food is amazing. Everyone's so nice. I mean, I have nothing bad to say. It's probably my favorite city in the world, honestly.
Well, now I'm insanely
You have to
jealous.
go. No, you have to go. You have to.
It
It's
is, it
not
is.
bad either. Like it sounds daunting to do a trip like that. I was like at first when I first went, I was like, I don't know about this. And then you come home after the trip and you're like, why was I why was that a big deal? It's not a big deal at all. Just go. It's great. Long plane ride, but you know, no layovers.
And how far is that flight? I think the longest flight I've ever had was from the East Coast to Hawaii, which was about
Ooh,
12 hours, and I
yeah.
had like an hour layover in California. So,
Ooh.
well, what's it like headed that way?
This one was 11 hours, so 1 hour shorter than previous flight. Although I don't know if that was from LA. So from where you are in Texas?
Right now I'm in Texas,
Okay.
DFW area.
Yeah, so what is that like? I don't know, probably 14 hours or something like that. Well, when I flew to Seoul, it's so weird how the world works because it's a
Mhm.
day ahead there, so you
Right.
lose a day. So you fly there and it's literally the next day. It's the
Mhm.
weirdest thing. And when you fly home, when you take off from Tokyo and you land in LA, the time and day that you took off from is the time and day that you land. So it's like you're
Okay.
going back in time. It's crazy. I wish I could like play the stock market or something, but it doesn't work like that. But it's kind of trippy.
I can only imagine leaving somewhere at Thursday at 3 o'clock and then
Yeah.
arriving Thursday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when you book your hotels and your flights and stuff, you really got to be careful because it's like, wait, what day? Like it's here this time, but it's what is that? Like on my calendar at home, like for my wife, I was like trying to let her know what days, but my itinerary is in like Japanese days. So then on the calendar, I'm like, no, I'm going to be flying from Tokyo to Seoul on this day, but for me, it'll be a different day. So it's just kind of weird. You just got to do a little bit of math.
So while you were over in Japan, um, did you get to see, and because I mean you're kind of part of a pretty big franchise based off of something in Japan. Did you see anything for Super Sentai over there or anything Power Ranger related while on your travels?
Oh man, I didn't tell you.
No.
When do you remember what was his name? The Sentai Ranger at More Phenomenal
Yes,
that we met.
yes. He is the equivalent for RPM Red. I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'm not going to offend him.
Okay, yeah, I know. The RPM Red Sentai
Yes.
Ranger. Okay,
Yes.
we kind of made friends a little bit.
Nice.
Translation difficult, but we made friends at More Phenomenal. And he told me when I'm in Tokyo, there's a Sentai Cafe, Power Rangers that I have to go to. And so it was very like every night people were like, okay, we're taking you here, we're taking you here. And I said, guys, I just need one night. We have to go to this cafe. And I was with my publisher at the time. And she was like, what? Like, we're going to a Power Ranger cafe? And I was like, yes, we have to go. So then I had to explain to them that I was a Power Ranger, and they're all like freaking out. Like, how do we not know this? So like, we're going. So everyone, we go to the Sentai cafe, and it's wild. It's like they have all this memorabilia at this place. You go into this building, and then you go to like the fourth floor, because in Japan everything's just like up, and stacked. So the restaurant's on the fourth floor, and they have you can either sit in the Power Rangers side or you can sit in the Super Sentai side. And on the Power Rangers side, they have all of the, Americanized versions of things.
Mhm.
And then they have the Super Sentai. I was like, oh, we got to sit in the Super Sentai side. So we had dinner there, and it was great. And I took a bunch of photos with everyone that worked there. People could not believe it. They were like freaking out. Uh, and a lot of the people that work there are actors, and they're all aspiring to be future Power Rangers. And so when I walked in, it was like, I didn't know what to expect, but they were like, "Is this real right now? This guy's like in Japan right now." It was crazy. But I took some pictures with my Lightspeed, posters, and obviously there's no Titanium Ranger anywhere to be found there, like doesn't exist. But I definitely took a picture with the Lightspeed poster and I sent it to I'm on a text thread with my castmates, and I sent that to them, and they were like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "How about the Sentai Cafe in Tokyo?" And they're like, "What the hell?" It's just crazy. But yeah, it was fun.
That's gotta be so cool. And kind of to pull it back into Rangers, like what's it like for you to be one of what two or three, maybe two or three completely 100% American original Rangers? Like there was no Sentai footage. Everything was kind of on you and your stunt fighter. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I think I was the first. Titanium was the first
Yes.
non-Sentai, American All-American Ranger, which was really amazing. I mean, it was a double-edged sword because it's iconic in one way, so cool, but the other half of that sword, and not taking away from that at all, because it's like I wouldn't have changed anything. A little bit less screen time because of that,
Hmm.
because it's
I did notice on my rewatch. I was like,
very
oh, he's
expensive. Yeah, everything had to be shot originally. Very expensive. Um, So that's why I was kind of going off on journeys by myself, because they were just trying to. It was like a new idea, so they're trying to establish that. But super honored to have been able to play that role for sure. Of all the Power Rangers, just really cool. And that's definitely like the number one question I get from people. So I know that people are really excited about that. So that makes me feel good. Yeah, pretty cool.
As it should. I mean,
Yeah,
that's kind of a, like I said, I can only think of like maybe two or three other seasons that had 100% original Rangers. So to be the first and one of very few has got to be just a really cool little feather in the cap when it
yeah,
comes to being part of this franchise.
absolutely, absolutely.
Um and I guess because we've talked about the past of your acting. We've talked about roles that you've had already, and that you're just now kind of getting back into acting again. Is there anything out there that you're like really eyeing up right now that you'd love to get your foot in the door with? Any franchise, any particular actor or director that you're really wanting to work with? Uh, what is there any kind of target or goal right now for getting back into the acting groove?
Uh, right now, I am just trying to reestablish myself, so I want to be like realistic with it.
Right.
Um, there's like the dream scenario, and then there's like, I've gotta I've gotta like make this journey. But I'm very close right now, and I don't want to like jinx it, but of getting a really cool part.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know what it's called when you're on a veil or something.
No, I do
Like in the
not. So
acting
please.
world, there's different definitions for things. There's the audition, then
Hmm.
there's the callback, and then maybe like another callback.
Hmm.
And then there's like first right of refusal, and there's like on avail. Non avail means like make yourself available because like clear your schedule basically, because it's usually that means like it's you and one other person.
Hmm.
So I'm in a really cool, I'm nervous because I'm going to find out in a few days if this happens or not. And if it doesn't, I'll be disappointed. But it's with a massive actor and it would just be really cool. But I think for the dream scenario, like
Yeah.
let's just have fun with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Go for it.
I love everything Star Wars. Um, so even if I could just play like just a guy that walks by the screen for 1 second, like I don't care, just to go on set and just see, you know, what's going on, just be in that world for a second. Um, that'd be so awesome. I would love that. Like my dream when I was when I first started acting was like, why did I not get the audition for Anakin Skywalker? Like, because I was the same age as Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
I looked just like him. I'm like, I literally could have played that role. Like I should have got that audition. And then it's funny because everyone compares my portrayal of Ryan in
Mm.
Lightspeed to literally like Anakin Skywalker a little bit, like how he turns, but the
Yeah.
other way around.
Right. Right. The reverse.
Yeah, yeah. So like, that would be my dream. Something like that would be cool.
No, that here fingers crossed for you. Because I personally I'd love to see that.
They'll definitely
Um
see it if it happens. So
and
yeah.
then B, I don't know if I got to show you this while we were at More Phenomenal, but
Oh no,
I'm
you
I,
didn't.
I am kind of, a diehard Star Wars fan.
That is so
Uh
awesome.
I okay, because you're such a Star Wars fan, I can share this little anecdote with you, and it's
Oh
and
yeah.
it's a dream for me too.
Okay.
I want nothing more in this world than for them to make a George Lucas biopic
Oh,
because my mom's stepfather is the person that sold George Lucas his first camera.
wow.
He was just some young kid working in
That's
a like an electronics store and just sold some guy a camera, and that person ended up being George Lucas. So I
wow.
want nothing more than a George Lucas biopic to play my grandfather in a George Lucas movie.
That would be so cool. Absolutely. They should. They need to do that.
Right? I'm
Dude's
saying.
iconic. He's like so under the radar. Like, where is he? What's happening? Yeah.
He's on a ranch somewhere spending Disney's money.
Yeah.
which I mean, I can't blame him. I'd do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how he feels about everything. It's so crazy. Probably hard to disconnect, but you have to, you know.
Right. Well, if I ever get him on the show, I'll ask him. That's for sure.
I bet. He's so cool. So cool.
Um,
Yeah. So I'm guessing you watched all of the animated stuff too, right? Like
all of
Rebels,
the
Clone
yep,
Wars. Yeah.
love Clone Wars, love Rebels, and
Same.
then when Ahsoka came out, it just felt like Rebels Part Two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
So good. Yeah. I think I've seen them all twice because I have a 6-year-old son. So we had to rewatch everything with him.
yep.
Like that stuff's great for a kid, you know.
Oh man. No, I feel that. I hope you appreciate this story. I got to have a little moment with one of my nephews a couple years back. Uh because they're starting to act just like I was at that age. So they're starting to find Power Rangers, they're starting to find Legos. They're really getting into all the nerdy stuff that I did when I was their age. And
Nice.
when I was back home visiting a couple years ago, they asked if they could watch Power Rangers on Netflix. I was like, "Oh, absolutely!" And so we queued up new Netflix, clicked, just typed in Power Rangers, and every freaking season that was on there came up. And I figured, and no offense to them because I've gotten to meet them in now, but like I figured they'd pick like Ninja Steel or like Beast Morphers. I figured they'd pick one of the new seasons, and they pointed at the OG one, and
Nice.
they're like, "Can we watch this one?" I was like, "Yes, we can, little dude. Yes, we can."
Respect. Respect. That's right. You got to start them at the beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Um, but before we start winding down, I do have to ask: is there any future projects coming out, music wise, acting wise, that you can tell us about? Don't want you to get in any trouble on any sets or anything like that. Any music projects or acting projects that you have coming up that you'd love to talk about, love to give a shout out to.
Well, I'd love to tell you about this acting project that might be coming up, but but I can't. So I would just say music stuff. I'm constantly working on music and releasing music, but Rhett Fisher, Spotify, iTunes, you can find all the new stuff there that's going on. And I'm writing for a lot of different artists. And on my Instagram is the Rhett Fisher. You can follow me on Instagram, Rhett Fisher. And I'm always pretty good at staying up to date with any artist that I've been working with that I've produced or written for, and I'll post about that. You can check them out, even if you want to check out some of the K-pop stuff as well. I'll put that on there. Um, but yeah, I'll keep you updated with that stuff.
Oh, awesome. Any big trips? I know, like you said, the last time we got to do an interview, Japan and Korea were in the wings. Anything coming up for you to travel the world some more?
Well, if I get this part, I'll be shooting in New York, which would be cool.
Nice.
Not too exotic, but I love going to New York. And then I'll be going to Vegas next week, which is fun. Go
Nice.
there for a week. Last year, I was in Vegas. I'm wearing my hat here. I'm in a band, like a event band. We do a lot of big events. We got to play at the F1 race, and I'm a big F1 fan. So we were right on the side of the racetrack. We got to play at like a VIP party. It was awesome. So we were like literally playing music, and I'm like watching the cars go by.
That's
Really cool.
awesome.
So yeah, summertime's here, so probably go camping or do something like that. But I don't have any like massive trips planned. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, A, 100% that's really cool. I kind of had a similar moment a few weeks ago. I got to do media for a convention here in Dallas, and I got to interview someone I follow on TikTok like religiously.
Mhm.
And while I'm talking to him, someone else that I follow walked past, and I was like, "Focus, focus, focus on what you're doing."
That's
As
fun. Someone that you
as
recognize.
yep, as I'm like, "Oh, that's that person." Okay, I'm
Yeah.
still in the middle of an interview. Gotta recenter where I'm at.
Oh
But
man, that's funny. That's how I felt when I did the Super Bowl commercial because there were so many guest stars, and I was just like, oh, there's, oh my God, okay, crazy. Yeah,
But
just
that's
so fun. I love it. I love it.
oh my goodness. But it's been an absolute pleasure sitting and talking with you, Rhett.
You too. Good
Uh
to see you again. Yeah.
yeah, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Having some time to just sit and relax. I don't have to just rush you with, three or four questions and let you get back to business. It's
Yeah,
nice
and I'm
to
glad you
just
had a great time at Ranger Stop too.
yeah.
That's awesome. Wish I could have been there, but I'm glad you got to say hi to some of my peeps.
Yes, we got to interview Keith, who was Lightspeed Green. We got
Yeah.
to interview Sasha, who was Lightspeed Yellow. We did not, unfortunately, like I said beforehand, didn't get to interview Lightspeed Red, but we're gonna try to reach out to him, see if he's interested and
Oh, the best. He will.
and excellent. I'll actually, funny enough, um he was a little nervous when I
Yeah.
first approached him because I showed up on like Thursday or Friday and
I
like
told you we
no
get nervous too. We get
yeah,
nervous.
like no one's in the con yet. I walk up and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Jay. I'm with the convention. I'm doing media. I was wondering if you'd like to do an interview this weekend." And he's just like, "Yeah, like uh kind of like who is this guy asking me for an interview?" And I was
Yeah,
like, if it puts you at ease, A, I'm with the convention, so I'm allowed to be here, and B, we just did an interview a couple months ago with your co-star Rhett, and he's actually doing one with us next week. And immediately he's like, oh yeah, 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 that'd be awesome. So like almost immediately he was like, oh well, if this guy's cool with Rhett, then he's cool with me.
totally, totally. Sean's the best. I mean, I love him. He's like my brother. He's great. Talk to him all the time. So
But once again, thank you, Rhett, for sitting down with us. Means the world to us that you give us your time here today, talk about your life, your experiences on set, and this
yeah,
and all these crazy adventures that you've gotten to go on throughout the years, whether it be for music or whether it be for Power Rangers. But thank you for that. Means the world to us.
oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Once again, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss the uploads. I'm going to try to get this turned around as quick as I can so you guys don't miss out. Uh, Once again, we're still streaming every week for Friday nights for Lord of the Rings on our Twitch or Lord of the Rings tabletop. And then coming in July/August, the release date is not set, but we are playing Astromore, which is going to be a Spelljammer D&D game. That's going to be an absolute blast. Do not miss out. It's going to be one of our best shows that we've ever dropped. We've got an amazing cast in the wings. We've got a great DM who's getting everything ready to bring you guys an excellent story. So we hope you watch. We hope you subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for listening. Let me switch up right here real fast. There we go. Rhett, thank you for joining me today. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's great to see you again.
2J.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping Kirbside.